Welcome to the sheet metal portion of the electromechanical demonstration. This is the first part of the demonstration. You're going to browse to the working folder underneath the electromechanical folder itself, and you'll see this assembly here. You want to grab the configuration 01 and go ahead and open it up. And what we want to do is we want to talk how we're going to be designing in the context of the assembly using top-down design inside of Solid Edge. And we're going to take a use and advantage of display configurations, and that they help us zero in on exactly what we want to create. And we're just going to go over and just create a part in place. You're going to be using a synchronous ISO sheet metal template. It's the template that comes with Solid Edge, and we're going to use an offset from the assembly origin, and we're going to create and edit. And you do need to fill in the name, and let's just give it a name of bracket. And what we're going to do is we're going to hone in, and we're just going to pick the midpoint of that part. And at this point, what we're going to do is just going to zoom out. And you can choose to have your parts, when you're inside of this sheet metal environment, have your parts to be dimmed or not. I like to work with them not dim, so you see this option here, dim the surrounding. I choose to turn that off because it just makes it look like you're working inside of the assembly itself. But I'll leave that totally up to you on how you want to have that displayed. And what we want to do is we want to go in here and include, and we want to lock to the top plane there, and we're just going to include the outside edges of this sheet metal part. And we're going to trim, just talk about how easy it is to just pick or drag around to trim parts, trim elements together. And then we're just going to pull that up. We're going to take the defaults, and here what we're going to do is we're going to say we want to include all these parts that are actually interfering with this one particular part. So again, we just want to include and grab that top face, and we just want to grab the surrounding parts. In this case here, we just want to grab that part there, and we'll just grab these other parts. And here you can just talk about how the ease of use it is to just easily grab the geometry that you're looking at, that you want. Be able to zoom this around. There we go. Let's just grab this top piece there, and we also want this other one. Grab it, and we'll finish that off. There we go. Now, while you're in this location, go ahead and rotate this around, and we're going to also include this top piece as well, and do a Control-T. And go ahead and escape. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to window around the holes that we selected, and now we're just going to cut those through. So select, push those down, and then we want to come around to that back piece as well. Grab the region, push it down, and we can see that we get now a true fit and function inside of there. You can talk about how there is an option to offset, include and offset at the same time if needed. And now what we want to do is we want to start pulling off some flanges. All the flanges that we're going to create in this particular demonstration, they will be created with the bend to the outside, so you can see that we won't get any kind of interference. And just pull this down to a particular length. We don't have to worry about how far you pull that down, because we're going to take care of that. Next, you just want to grab a smart dimension, pull that down, and then we're going to change this dimension, but we want to make sure that we have the thickness chain option turned off. And you want to change that to 20. And whenever you do that, it automatically centers it. Now, with some parts getting in our way, we want to be able to cut off some of that. So let's set our clipping plane. And we want to pull that up. And we just want to grab it to where it gets to a point right there. And now we can visualize and see what our part looks like. But let's go in here now and let's break a few corners. We're going to use a 10mm on both sides, as you see there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to relate this to another part inside of our assembly. So again, it's just talking more about our top-down design. You can see how we relate it to that particular part there. Next, what we want to do is just pick this face. We also want to do that same relate just to show the different options that you have with the relate. And this one, we're going to make it coincident, so that what we want to do is we want to match it up. We want to match that up to that face there. So you can simply do a Control R, and you can see how we've now moved that and extended it out to meet that particular face. And then we have a shaft that goes through here, so we need to be able to cut that out. So again, we'll just include our geometry and then grab that region and just push it on through. So again, quick and easy, using the information that's provided with the parts around it. You have control over how they're displayed and how they're actually controlled. Now let's go through and we're going to create multiple flanges. So just select this flange, hit your space bar, and then just go around this part, grabbing the 4 faces that you see here. And again, to make sure we don't have any kind of interferences, take it to the bend to the outside. And what you're going to do is you're going to select the end point of this particular part that you see here. And now what we want to do is we want to be able to shorten these up, and you can see that they actually now move along because it's actually a symmetrical part. So we'll just go ahead and select that and just move it to a certain distance. 10mm is fine. But next, what we want to do is we want to pull off some other flanges. Again, just hold down this, hit the space bar. We want to pull this in. This one. And if you get to the point here, because there's actually 2 different points that you can select whenever you select here. There's a top point and there's a bottom point. And the reason why I did this, because I wanted to show it to you just in case it happens during your demonstration if you do not select the right point. And again, this just shows the ease of use in Solid Edge and whenever you're doing top-down design, because we can instantly see that there's an interference, right? So what we want to do is we want to grab this face and we want to move it, and we want to move it down to this bottom point, not that top point. But what you want to point out if that happens is that it takes all these other faces along with it instantly, and you don't have to worry about it. And again, these are all individual flanges, remember, that are being played out. So now we just need to cut, but before we do that, we want to make sure that whenever things are placed, you can either, whenever these things are moved, we might want the top flanges to move along with them. So what we want to be able to do is we want to